Welcome to Winning Every Living Day. I'm Orally Cormier, and together with Dr. Pat, we will help you to envision the life of your dreams. This is the space where women like you are inspired to believe in yourself, believe in your dreams, and your ability to create a life you truly love. Together, we'll explore health and wellness, relationships, careers, and the small but powerful baby steps that lead to lasting transformation. Because no matter where you start, life is meant for joy, happiness, and abundance, whether in vibrant health, loving connections, fulfilling work, or freedom of time and money. Here, you'll learn to reflect, visualize, feel, and take action so you can manifest the life you deserve. Let's step into your power and start winning every living day together.
Hey everyone, I'm Dr. Pat, and we are ready to kick it off. Why? This is a 1 year. It's the end of a numerology cycle. A 9 year. It's a fresh start energy. It is the year of the fire horse. Love that. But it's more than that. Today, Orly is going to cover something that it takes bold and courageousness to cover this topic the way you're about to hear it. Take out your notepad. If you'll listen to the archive of this, go back and hear it over. Forgiveness, one of the most powerful tools of healing. Beyond any words we can probably say, we're going to kick it off right now, Orly. Here's the thing. We struggle with forgiveness for a couple reasons. One, we don't understand it. And what I mean by that is we have our own definition of it, which isn't really the definition of it. And then the second thing, we don't really have anyone that has showed us the benefits of it, how it helps women, how to have a sense of bravery. So let me ask you this. Can you describe this? Describe the benefits of forgiveness.
I would love to. And I will tell you first and foremost that this is one of my greatest life lessons I ever learned.
I
It
know.
was a very painful lesson. It
Ah,
took me 50 years to figure this all out. But because I've done the hard work, I want to help you out in our audience so you don't have to do the hard work if you follow along and get the principles of what I'm trying to talk about. Because I really love, Dr. Pat, that you said that this is the year of the fire horse. One of my mentors was speaking the other day and talked about how we're in a 20-year cycle of fire energy from 2024 to 2043. But the most intense part of that fire energy is this year in 2026. And oftentimes at the beginning of the year, we think, oh, we've got to create what are, important things that are goals that we want to get done for the year. But I think in order to do that, I thought to myself, you know what? I think what we need to do is let go first of what no longer serves us so that then we can step forward into that beautiful life that we'd love to create for ourselves. Because this is a year that can has amazing transformation possibilities within it, creativity, entrepreneurship, doing what you would love. But there's also going to be a lot of challenges. There's going to be a lot of change in power. There's going to be natural disasters, fires, floods, earthquakes, and we want to be prepared. And if we can let go of what doesn't serve us, it helps us to step forward. So to share with you one of my difficult experiences I had is I had a situation when I was young where I felt really disrespected. I felt really hurt. I had gone to my mom to tell her what had happened. And I thought that, she would then talk to me again and we would figure out how we were going to work this out and what we were going to do going forward. And as it turned out, I never heard about it again. But, there's no perfect family. And so this was also part of my life lesson is that In my family, you were taught if you had something positive and happy to say, you talked about it. If you didn't, then that was your cross to bear, and you just kept your mouth shut and moved on. So, beneath that, although I felt really hurt and I felt really disrespected, and I didn't know how to handle it because as a kid, you don't have all the tools available to you to figure these things out. And so I just, I got to be an adult. I became a nurse. And a lot of people saw a kid that was responsible and, helpful. But underneath that facade was a woman who was very angry inside. And then I got to this point in my life when I realized, I had my daughter, I had this little baby, and I needed to get over it. It had been 30 years already, and it was beyond the time to stop the inner anger, the sadness, the frustrations. And so I decided, all right, we are going to heal this thing one way or another. I had been through counseling, I had talked to people. I decided I was going to write a letter and I was going to give it to the person who hurt me, and I was going uh to ask them to say that they were sorry for what they had done. It took a year for them to come back to me and tell me they were sorry. And I will tell you, in that moment, I felt like 50 pounds of weight came off my shoulders. I felt so free, so unburdened. And soon thereafter, well, not immediately thereafter, but probably within 3 or 4 months, I forgave them as well. But that wasn't the end of the story. A couple of years ago, I go out running, every day, or I'll go to the gym. And I was out, it was a cloudy day. I came back into my yard. I step into my driveway. There was a split in the clouds above, and this beam of light came right into my eyes and right into my heart, and my whole body felt electrified. And if any of you have ever felt this, it's a it's hard to describe, but your whole body's electrified. And I just stood there for a minute and I said, "What was that?" And then all of a sudden it hit me. My heart is healed. I
Mm.
felt in that moment that all these experiences I had, my heart was healed. And to this day, I still feel that my heart was healed in that moment. I mean, it took a lot of other steps, but that was like the finality of it. And so, if there's one thing I can transmit to you, especially having been an oncology nurse working with really complicated patients over the years, or people with diabetes or heart disease, I realized that a lot of times our emotions also impact on our health. They impact on our immune system. So if we can heal our emotions, then that also helps our physical health, our emotional health, our spiritual health. And the other thing that I really want to transmit here is that, um, when even though these feelings can feel really burdensome, when we realize we can let them go and we do forgive, or we hear another person say they're sorry, we can heal our own lives. It's one of the most powerful healing tools we have. And a lot of those, the anger, the frustration, the sadness, those are low level energies. When we can step into happiness, joy, fun, love, abundance, which is available to us in our universe, when we, seek them out and we have an awareness of them, that raises our vibrational energy and gives us better health. And so, this is, something that I learned through my own experience. It doesn't mean that because you healed yourself of your emotions that, all of a sudden in a split second now your physical health is going to be healed, but it does help. I will say there's many factors that help, but that is one of the factors. And again, because this 2026 cycle is a very transformative time in history, this is a great time to help to heal ourselves, because we can step into being our best selves, being our authentic selves. And I'm not saying it's easy. This was one of the hardest things I ever had to do, but I will say it's 100% worth it. And you will love your life going
Yeah,
forward. And
yeah.
the other thing about it is that when we have, as I said, our life is really meant for happiness and joy and fun and love and abundance. And when we have those things, we radiate out those things to others: kindness, compassion, which the world needs more than ever. I don't know about those in our audience, but I know for me, there's days I wake up and I'm like, God, it just like, what else could get bad in this world? What else could happen today? It seems like every day is the worst. And then, then the next day is even worse than that. So this world needs us. It needs people who can radiate that happiness and joy and good feeling in their life, the kindness, the compassion, which we all need to actually shift that energy, that chaotic energy, into a positive,
Mhm.
transformative energy.
Let me interject something here for
Sure.
people. I want to say this. Thank you, Reverend Bonnie Barnard, who schooled me in forgiveness. She is a forgiveness expert. I will call her that. You know, she studied with other people, but her message and work with women, which
Yep.
really didn't get addressed, her work with women is profound even today. And what Bonnie shared with me, to your point,
Yep.
we're coming into a year. The fire cycle started 2 years ago if we look at that 9 year cycle, and
Yep.
that's going to keep going for a while. But
Yep.
2026 is a double. Some people say it's exponential. It is a cosmic green light. It is a gallop forward energy. It demands authenticity and action. It is
Mm.
not a year of, oh, should I go to the no. And so, what will cause you not to take action, ladies? Uh, Holding on to resentment. Yes, forgiveness is the antidote to it.
Mm.
If you've taken the resentment poison, and you don't need a lot of it, just one little drop of poison can kill you. If you've taken that, forgiveness eradicates it. Now, here's the message. Bonnie said to me one day, Pat, you're not forgiving for the other person. You're doing it for yourself. You need to be
Mm-hmm.
selfish about it. And I
Yes.
looked at her like, what? And here's the answer. She said, you don't condone. Forgiveness isn't about condoning what somebody has done to you. So talk about how your letting go process carved out the pathway to freedom, because this is not the year to be stuck.
Right.
It's just not.
Well, sometimes when when you feel hurt, you feel like you want the other person to feel hurt too. And if you're not talking about it, you don't know how they're feeling. But what I will say is, after a while, I realized I was creating my own emotional prison. And no
Mm,
matter what happened with them, like you said, it doesn't condone their behavior. They're still responsible for what they did, but it's freeing you up and releasing that emotional prison that you're in, for all the anger, the resentment, the hurts, the pains, the depression, the sadness. And so by freeing yourself of those emotions and resolving those hurts, whether you talk to the other person or not. And so, one of the suggestions I have is to first, if it does help if you can go to the person and talk to them directly, or over the phone or on Zoom, or depending upon where they are in the world and where you are. But write down what it is, this, in terms of the situation. What is it that bothered you? And you're not saying it to blame the other person. You want to just state the facts, and you want to take responsibility for your own feelings. I felt hurt. I felt uncomfortable. I felt disrespected, whatever it was. And then they get to, you know, and there may be misunderstandings too. So you can work out any misunderstandings. what I found too is it's helpful to write it down first so that, there have been times in my life I've said things that I wish I didn't say. And so by, writing it down, then you eliminate things that you want to talk about without saying the things that can be hurtful, and starting with something positive that you appreciate about them, you respect them, so that they know that they are appreciated and respected too, before you start talking about the situation and how hurt you felt or what it is that's bothering you. Um, and then, this can, by having a conversation about it, this can lead to manifesting the life that you would love, because then you get to let go of anything that doesn't serve you anymore. You just leave that behind. Um, and then, of course, you can, if the person has already died, that becomes a lot more complicated. But what I found can be helpful in those situations, because I have worked with so many patients that have died, and is just right, visualizing and feeling that they are there with you in spirit. So you can write down whatever it is that you want to say to them, and just trust in the process. Trust that their spirit is there with you to go over what it is that was upsetting to you about that situation, how you felt. And then, you could visualize that they say they're sorry. And hopefully by doing that, that will help you to feel a little bit better about what happened in a situation where they're not available for you to talk to them in person.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, it is the core foundation of 12-step programs, recovery programs. It is a core foundational piece because 99.9% of the time, the other person is not available,
Mhm.
nor do they want anything to do with you. So
Right.
you have to learn another way. And what you're describing for people is this is an inside job.
Right.
You
It's an
don't have to
inside job.
work. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
That's what you
Right.
discovered.
Yeah. It does help if you do have the opportunity to talk to them
Yes, it
about it.
does. Yeah.
But if you're not able to, it is the most important. Well, there's two most important parts of this. One is that you release yourself from your own emotional prison, so that you step into your best self. You take back your power. It's not to be passive or manipulative, but it's to step forward into your best self, so that you can bring your kindness, compassion, your light to the world, which this world needs.
Mm,
Um, and, letting go of anything that no longer serves you. But I think that uh, the other the other part of this is, or the other second most important thing about this, is that you're also being a role model for your children. If you have children or nieces or nephews or other people, you're being a role model to other people of how we can be in this lifetime, because we are in a transformative time. The more of us that shift to that positive light, that kindness, that compassion, the love and abundance in the world that we are aware of, the more people will then take on that stance, and we will shift the energy of the world from this fire negative energy to fire positive energy and transformation.
yeah. You know, really can't take the action you want to get you from where you are in your life to where you really want to go without it. It will show up. In the world of psychology, and you know this, it's called triggers.
Hmm.
It doesn't take much to have an experience or a car that goes by the color of that person that hurt you and to go from 0 to 120 miles per hour, not even know it because you're still holding on. And
Right.
doesn't that cause illness?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I won't say it causes illness, but it impacts on illness.
Impacts. Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it impacts on,
associated with it.
yeah.
We
It
have to be
impacts our
careful.
immune
I know.
system.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so as women, when we help to heal ourselves and we are able to bring what the best of who we started as and resolve some of these painful feelings, then we can step into and embrace our power, our agency over our own lives, our passions, our soul purpose, winning every living day. And this is what I am keep reminding myself over and over. And I want women from our show to
Mhm.
remind themselves, or for men too, winning every living day, because we have, every day we wake up, we are so grateful. We are so lucky to be alive because not everybody wakes up, and we get to step into our soul purpose and give what we have to give in this lifetime. And that is can be a beautiful thing. So and it's definitely what the world needs. So,
Mm,
one of the things that I did want to share with you is if you're looking for how you can win every living day and how you would like to be your best self, or maybe you want to turn 2026 into building the life of your dreams, next week I have a two-part masterclass. It's a free masterclass on Wednesday and Thursday, January 14th and 15th. It's from 7 to 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's on Zoom, so you can do it from the comfort of your own home. And we can, you can think about, we'll talk about, and we're going to do a vision board the second night. But,
mm,
and bring your spouse, bring your best friend, bring whoever, as so that together you're creating that beautiful relationship that you want to have in this year. Or maybe you're thinking about your kids, how you want to create the best family that you can for this coming year. And then from there, the following week, I'm actually starting a 6-part workshop on creating optimal resilience in pregnancy. And
mhm.
this is one of, my passions, having worked in acute care oncology for many years. What happens in our lifetime is often a reflection of what happened when our grandparents were conceiving our parents,
Wow.
and the things that they were exposed to, the foods they ate, the chemicals that they, whether radiation or chemo or pesticides or whatever they were exposed to, lead, mercury. And so it's really important to, those first 8 weeks when a baby is growing inside of us, we we are, or the baby is developing the template of all of their organs, and then the epigenetics are around all the genes and can be turned on or turned off under various conditions, whether that's starvation, drugs, um, chemicals, or overeating. That can also have an impact. And then also in the second trimester, that's when the brain is forming, all the intricate parts of the brain are growing. And so if we can be really healthy before we ever get pregnant, we
Mhm.
will give not only ourselves, but we'll give our babies a better chance to live a longer, healthier life, and give our grandchildren a better chance of living a longer, healthier life.
Yeah.
So,
And what we learned though, I want to say something about your class
yeah,
because you see, we're talking about the class, but here's the thing. When you learn this and you learn it together with people, you have a support group now.
right,
And you learn and teach, and then that gets passed on generationally what you've learned. So
right,
this isn't just a one-time thing you're teaching. What you're teaching is a life, winning every living day by
right.
understanding what you could change within yourself, right?
Right. Yeah. And a lot of people, they're already doing some of these things already, but they want to add on and tune up some of the things. So the 5 pillars of wellness: love, nutrition, exercise, serenity, which includes sleep, and spirituality, which is our passion, our purpose. And so I hope that you go to my website, orallycormier.com/workshops. You can see the free masterclass and the 6-week workshop. Hit the register button, you can sign up. And I will say that the 6-week program is per couple. And also, the price includes the full 6 weeks. It's not that price every single week, it's that price for the full 6 weeks for two people, for
Yeah.
the husband and wife, or the husband and partner, or
Yeah.
the maybe it's a single woman with the grandmother, because single women need a lot of support when
Yeah.
if they're having a baby. So,
Yeah, that was my mom. Thank you for taking this topic on, and thank you for bringing up forgiveness because it is the game changer.
oh,
We're
it was a game
talking,
changer for me for
and
sure.
me too. And yet we're talking about this amazing year and fresh start. There is no fresh start if you hold resentment, right?
Right. Well,
Thank you.
we can start to forgive, and then maybe there'll be a fresh start.
I'm all about that order of things. Thank you, Early. Thank you so
Okay,
much for
thank you,
everything.
Dr. Pat.
For
Great to
those of
see
you
you.
out there, please find out more about Orally. There's much more she does, coaching, all of this. And if you're thinking, I don't know how to do it, you're going to need to call her. Thank you for tuning us in. Happy Fire Year. Happy Fire Horse. Happy New Year. We'll see you next time.
You've been listening to the Winning Every Living Day with me, Orally Cormier, with Dr. Pat. I'm so glad you joined us on this journey of believing in yourself and taking the steps toward a life you truly love. Be sure to tune in every first Tuesday at 11:30 a.m. Pacific Time on Transformation Talk Radio for more inspiration, tools, and strategies to support your health, your relationships, and your dreams. And if you're ready for deeper transformation, sign up for my master classes and workshops by visiting my website, oralycormier.com. These powerful programs provide the extra support and guidance that can make an enormous impact in helping you achieve the life you've been dreaming of. Until next time, remember, you have what it takes to start winning every living day.